Hello folks and welcome to Paddock Pass, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix 2016 pre-race edition. We've made it to the end, 21 races, but a championship yet to be decided. Of course, Rosberg and Hamilton, some people are calling it the duel in the desert, the showdown in the sunset or some... It's the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. That's my line and I'm sticking to it. We'll talk to them later because there's so much more to talk about before we get to them. We'll start with a guy who's had an astonishing season. Started off at Toro Rosso, was promoted to Red Bull at the Spanish Grand Prix, which he promptly won, and has just had plaudits lauded upon him all season long, and none more so than after the Brazilian Grand Prix. An interesting strategy during the race for Red Bull to put him onto the medium tyres. They were hoping to force Mercedes' hand into getting them to do the same thing. Ultimately, safety cars and all that kind of thing meant that it didn't quite work out for them and they had to go back onto the wet, but that gave us a brilliant race at the end with Max Verstappen scything through the wet field. He's been lauded now as the next Senna or the next Schumacher, but really, it's kind of basic racing strategy, if you like, that in the wet, the traditional racing line, as it is the rubbered-in part of the track, becomes the slipperiest. It's something you learn in karting. You don't stick on that sticky, rubbery part of the track because it becomes slippery in the wet, so you race off the racing line, something that Max has carried through from karting, through Formula 3, into Formula 1. But a lot of other drivers seemingly have either forgotten or aren't used to doing. So first question to Max was obviously, how was he able to do something seemingly so basic that no one else could?
To be honest, I don't know. It's just, for me, I've always done that before, so for me it was pretty natural. And then with the spray, you couldn't see where you were going if you just stay behind them, so you always try to do different lines, and that's what I did.
You also had a monumental save. You said your heart rate went up at that moment. Talk us through it, though, from what it's like in the cockpit at the point at which you feel that car go away from you. When did you feel that you'd got it back? I had the moment, locked the brakes, locked the wheels while braking, and then at one moment the front started to come back at you. So it started to go to the right, luckily, instead of the left. And then from there on I felt a bit more in control. So then I came off the brakes and it pulled to the right side. So, I think that was a crucial moment in the whole thing. Luck or judgment?
The first bit, I think, is a bit of luck, that the front comes back at you, and then it's just in your control to get it out of the barrier.
You had a great race after then, passing loads of people, including Sebastian Vettel, who I understand texted you after the weekend in Brazil.
Yeah, he said good job, and then we started talking about just the race in general, if we can improve something. So, no issues there. And
you're in a fight with him for fourth place in the Drivers' Championship. When you started this year with Toro Rosso, could that ever have been a conceivable thought for you? And what would it mean to you to finish ahead of Sebastian this year if you do?
To be honest, it would be a nice bonus to finish fourth, but it doesn't make a massive difference, does it? I mean, fourth or fifth, it's the same like 10th or last for me.
First or nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Max. Now, Verstappen. Hey, Marco, how are you? You can carry on filming. You good? This is Marco Cadello, who's Director of Operations in GP2. GP2 and GP3 titles to be decided this weekend.
Yeah.
Who's going to win GP2?
I think a Prema guy.
Yeah, but they're the only two guys in it, really, apart from Marcello. Do you think Giovinazzi or Gasly?
So close. I think it's 50-50. Okay. Giovinazzi got a 7 points lead, so it might make a difference.
And who wins GP3?
I think Charles Leclerc has got the edge of it.
There you go. Thanks, Marco. See you later, mate. Bye. Marco Cadello, great guy. He's been doing GP2 since it started. So not just the F1 Championship to be decided this weekend, also GP2 and also GP3. Those are the tips from Marco, and I'd have to say I agree with him. Where did we start? We were just talking about Max Verstappen's teammate, Daniel Ricciardo. Can't not love this guy. It's been a really interesting season for him and for Red Bull as a whole. Didn't expect much out of it, but boy, have they delivered. Looking part.
Yeah.
Okay, I can never tell when you're being serious.
I don't know. Do I have anything in my teeth?
No.
No, I'm good.
You're good. When you look back on this season, how are you gonna remember it?
I'll remember it with a smile. Absolutely. I think there's been many more highs than lows, and the low was at the time a pretty big one. Obviously the Monaco sort of scenario, but fortunately plenty of podiums since then, and the victory. So very happy with 2016. It's good.
Has it surprised you how much the team has come on, despite the engine not actually being upgraded all that much throughout the year?
I think, to be honest, we had sort of low expectations for both, the team and how much development we could make with the power unit, but I think they both came on pretty strong, stronger than we expected. So yeah, the team pulled their weight, but I did feel that we got, the upgrades we got from the engine this year definitely worked. So it was nice, and it seemed like we all sort of fed off that, and like one thing, one upgrade would work, and we're like, oh great, and then the next thing, and like so everyone's sort of confidence built through that process.
I saw some quotes from you earlier in the week about the fact that Max being compared to drivers like Senna is not a bad thing for you, because if you beat him, it makes you look even better. Yeah,
I mean, I said yesterday, like he's, I shouldn't joke about those things, but there you go. No, sure. I mean, it's nice having a competitive teammate, and obviously it pushes me. But then, yeah, if you can outperform a very, very good teammate, then it obviously speaks highly about what you're doing.
And I'm going to have to wrap this up now, but championship is all everyone's talking about, obviously, this weekend. Yep. You guys could play a part in it yet. Are you even thinking about what's going on between Nico and Lewis, or are you just going out there for yourselves?
Honestly, I'll race for myself and go out there. And when I say race for myself, yeah, just not really change the approach. Just go out there and race, have fun. Hopefully we can be in a fight with them and be on the podium. If it affects the sort of overall outcome of the championship, then so be it. Obviously I won't go out there favouring anyone, and I don't have a real preference. I get on with them relatively well, both Lewis and Nico, so whoever gets it done. But of course, if I can win the race myself, then I'll obviously I'm not going to wave anyone through.
Now, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, of course, marks the end of the 2016 season, but it also marks the end of two drivers racing, in Formula One terms anyway, careers. Felipe Massa and Jenson Button. No one is going to forget the incredible scenes that we saw in Brazil just a few weeks ago, recorded as Felipe walked down the pit lane by the man behind the camera at the moment. You can't see him. I have to look at him. Dan Kidner recorded all that. He's a genius with the camera. Anyway, he recorded all of that. And it was a wonderfully emotional moment for Felipe Massa. Could have ended his career then, really, but he won't. He'll finish it here this weekend in Abu Dhabi. The diminutive Brazilian who is loved by so many and got very, very emotional last time out. Felipe, hello.
Don't cry.
I'll try this time. I'll say the same to you. Is it good that you managed to get all of the emotion out of the way last time out, given that this will be your last ever Formula One Grand Prix?
Yeah, I think so. So now I am really relaxed, ready just to race and enjoy my last race of my career. Yeah, it's definitely. I think what I passed in the last weekend in Brazil, it was just an amazing feeling. I mean, I couldn't imagine I had so much emotion like I had on that day from everybody that I work with, but even people I didn't work with, from the fans. It was just amazing to see everything happen in that way. Now I'm just relaxed and ready for the last proper race and the last real race of my career in Formula One.
With really emotional times, it's often like you don't actually live them at the time. Like when you get married, when you have your child, and it's only when you look back that you remember how emotional it was. Having looked back on that Brazilian weekend, and particularly that Sunday, has it started to sink in how much you'll be missed, how much this sport means to you, and how much you mean to this sport?
Definitely. I mean, the sport, I think it shows what's happened in the last race, that the sport is just amazing. I mean, the sport is just fantastic. I think the respect I had for everybody that I work with, from the people, from everybody that I had any working, during my career, I had on double on that day. So respect for myself, and that's really amazing. I mean, it shows that the sport is amazing. Definitely, I will miss the sport, but I think after I saw in the last weekend in Brazil, but also what I'm seeing here as well, I'm ready. I think it's the right time, and everything happens in the amazing way with me, and that I just, say thank you, and I'm ready for the next step.
It's a long time ago for all of us, but looking back, last day at school, nobody ever did any work because we all knew it was holidays next. You don't really have anything to do after this weekend. What do you do this weekend? Do you just have fun? Do you attack it like a normal weekend and really hard work, or are you just going to enjoy it?
Yeah, I mean, I will have a lot of fun, but you need to attack to have a good result, you know. So, and you need to try the best as you can. That is just the only thing I'm looking forward. And yeah, trying to enjoy my last race. And Monday I will be completely in holiday. So, and then I will have enough time to think about what I'm going to do, because definitely staying inside my room and looking to the wall, I cannot do it. So definitely I will invent something to do in my life.